so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hello, I'm Torrance Mayor Pat Fury. During this week that includes Veterans Day, I wanted to take time on behalf of my colleagues on the City Council and everyone in the City of Torrance to recognize all of those who have served our country so bravely. In cities and towns across America, we are united as a grateful nation. We are grateful for those who gave their lives and those who risked their lives so that our nation remains free. And of course, we honor those who stand guard now at bases around the country and around the world. Please know that your commitment, your service, and your sacrifices are never forgotten. Know that we, as a nation, are indebted to you. As a veteran, I appreciate the camaraderie and courage there is in serving. And I'm humbled by the good wishes extended to me, and in return, I extend the gratitude to my fellow veterans. To everyone who has ever served in the United States Armed Forces, we simply say, thank you. Now, therefore, I, Patrick J. Fury, as Mayor of the City of Torrance, California, do hereby proclaim November 7th through the 13th, 2021 as Military Veterans Appreciation Week in the City of Torrance, signed this 26th day of October, 2021.
Being a veteran, there is absolutely a sense of belonging, and it doesn't matter what branch of service you're in. My name is Bob Kyota. I'm a retired Army aviator, fixed-wing aviator, 21 years in the Army. I had a magnificent career in the Army. The best thing that I remembered was being with fellow soldiers. You miss the camaraderie nearly every day, but we try to capture that in our VVA Chapter 53 monthly meetings. Everybody understands that everybody did something. A veteran is somebody different than anybody in the world, perhaps except the police and firemen. We've signed up to do whatever was necessary, including the ultimate sacrifice. True heroes, in my estimation, are any person that served in the military. It didn't matter whether you're Army or Navy or Air Force or Marines. You recognize what you did, and we do too. SAFE, S-A-F-E, and it stands for Salute Armed Forces Every Day. It's a very simple way to recognize military active duty or retirees. Wherever there is an event that has a flag salute or anything like that, the announcer simply says, would you, if you're a veteran, active duty, or a retired veteran or former military, please raise your hand or stand up and be recognized. It takes no time at all. It doesn't cost anything, and our chapter is working its way, this initiative, through the Vietnam Vets of America National Headquarters, as well as other venues. It's a simple thing to do. I was on an airplane, as you know, coming back from Boston, and a dozen people where I was seated came by me and said, thanks for your service. It's a wonderful feeling. It's very easy to do, and let me tell you, the person that's getting that really appreciates that. Well, when I think about another veteran coming home from a war, I was very fortunate. When I came back, I was not submitted to all the things that people who have come back from Vietnam were subjected to. And the same thing holds true for any war that has been. In the Second World War, we were greeted as heroes, and that's the truth, and that's the way it should be. If you were fighting a war in defense of your country, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, you are the true hero. I am a founding member of the Social Services Commission, and I urge anybody to join the commission or come to the meetings, because we have an open mic, and be delighted to have your input. My heart goes out to you. Thank you for your service. Active duty, thanks for serving. We love you.
I was in high school, and I was studying aeronautics, and I got word that the Navy had opened their cadet program, so I enlisted during my senior year. My name is Leon Silverman. I served in the Navy during World War II, and I'm 94 years young now. All of the veterans today are enjoying the GI Bill of Rights, which came about because of the bonus army. It's a story that very few people today are aware of. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, the armistice ending World War I was signed. The Treaty of Versailles, signed on June 28, 1919, officially ended the war to end all wars. Armistice Day officially received the name by congressional resolution on June 4, 1926. In 1954, President Eisenhower changed the name to Veterans Day to honor the veterans of World War II and Korea. Getting back to World War I vets, in 1922, Congress passed a bonus for the vets, but President Harding vetoed it. In 1924, Congress passed another bonus bill and overrode the veto of President Coolidge, and the measure was enacted, but the payment was deferred by law until 1945. During this period known as the Roaring Twenties, the country was enjoying prosperity and full employment. In 1929, the good times ended with the crash of the stock market and the beginning of the Great Depression. In 1932, at the height of the Depression, this song was composed and told by a World War I vet of his life before, during, and up to the present 1932. It's titled, "Brother, Can You Spare a Dime?" and I'd like to sing it for you. They used to tell me I was building a dream, and so I followed the mob. When there was earth to plow or guns to bear, I was always there, right there on the job. They used to tell me I was building a dream with peace and glory ahead. Why should I be standing in line just waiting for bread? Once I built a railroad, made it run, made it race against time. Once I built a railroad, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime? Once I built a tower to the sun, brick and rivet and lime. Once I built a tower, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime? Once in khaki suits, gee, we looked swell, full of that Yankee doodle-dee-dum. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell. I was the kid with the drum. Say, don't you remember, they called me Al. It was Al all the time. Say, don't you remember, I'm your pal. Buddy, can you spare a dime? On July 28, 1932, the Bonus Army, a group of 43,000 demonstrators made up of 17,000 World War I vets and 26,000 of their families and affiliated groups, marched on Washington to demand early cash redemption of their bonuses of about $1,000 each. Their leader was Walter Waters, a former sergeant. Organizers called it the Bonus Expeditionary Force, to echo the name of the World War I American Expeditionary Forces. The media called them the Bonus Army. Most of the veterans had been unemployed since the Great Depression and were destitute and desperate, and their principal demand was immediate cash payment of the bonus. On July 28, 1932, U.S. Attorney General Mitchell ordered the Washington police to remove the demonstrators from all government property. The police met with resistance, shots were fired, and 2 veterans were wounded and later died. President Hoover then ordered the U.S. Army to clear the campsite. The Army Chief of Staff, General Douglas MacArthur, and General Patton commanded a contingent of 500 infantry and 500 cavalry, supported by 6 tanks and 800 policemen. The Bonus Army, with their wives and children, were driven out of their shelters and belongings were burned and 1,017 injured. Later that year, Hoover lost the election and FDR was voted in as president. In May 1933, a second bonus march, much smaller, came to Washington. In 1936, Congress overrode President Roosevelt's veto and paid the veterans their bonus 9 years early. The Bonus Army laid the foundation for the GI Bill of Rights, which was passed in 1944. I don't want to leave you with a lump in your throat or a tear in your eye after Brother Can You Spare a Dime, so I will sing the Democratic theme song of their campaigns in the 30s. Happy days are here again, the skies above are clear again. Let us sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. All together shout it now, there's no one who can doubt it now. So let's tell the world about it now. Happy days are here again. Your cares and troubles are gone. There'll be no more from now on. Happy days are here again. The skies above are clear again. So let's sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. Well, the pandemic is what makes this special, and at the age of 94 and having gone through the pandemic, I'm especially thankful and grateful.
I served as an Army nurse from 1973 to 1976 during the Vietnam conflict, but served stateside at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. My name's Deborah Bickford, and I'm the chair of Torrance's Social Service Commission. While I was in college, the Army was offering nursing scholarships for eligible students, and I did apply and was accepted. I was a little apprehensive about joining because it was during Vietnam's conflict, but also felt that the reason I was studying to be a nurse was to take care of the sick and injured. So I felt that my commitment, my responsibility, who else to serve better than to soldiers who were injured? So I took a deep breath and joined. We developed strength in facing any new project, job, cause. You just take on the responsibility immediately. You mentor everyone that comes within your realm, whether it be somebody you're working with or somebody you're trying to teach. But it always comes back. And I have kept those traits, I would say, throughout my professional career. And I thank the Army for that. You grow and you work with the concept of there is no excuse, sir. You must do it and take responsibility for your actions, and there is nobody else to go to. So I think that's actually what I came away with the most. It's been my pleasure to develop lifelong friends that I served with a very short period of time, but we immediately bonded, and we keep those friendships going even though we don't see one another for years. We have those relationships. I have friends that I served with my first assignment, and we still keep in touch. To all of the veterans out there, we say thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you to your families for their sacrifices that they had during the service. And take all of the thanks and all of the accolades that are being given to you today, keep them, and remember that we all appreciate everything you have done throughout your careers and what you have done to help strengthen America. I am appreciative of the commitment that these men and women have given to give up their lives, potentially, for the service of our country, to protect the rights of people who do not feel the same way that they do. But to them, it does not matter. It is their country and their patriotism that they give every single day. And that whole commitment and that love that they have for even their other servicemen that they have experienced is just exceptional and awe-inspiring. And so I can't help but appreciate each and every one of them.
I was inspired by my grandparents who grew up as part of the greatest generation. Their stories about their experiences in World War II had a big impact on me. I can remember going down to the Long Beach Naval Station with my grandpa, who spent about 30 years in the Navy, and watching the battleships come in and out. I'm Marcus Ferrara. I come from Torrance, California. I'm the oldest of 5 children who all went to Seaside, Kelly Mare, and South Torrance High School. Go Spartans! I'm an infantryman who became a foreign area officer at about the 7-year mark. And what that entails, for those who wouldn't know, is a career track that has you working with the State Department, other government agencies, usually overseas and embassies, doing national security type of activities, policy, intel, security cooperation type of stuff. I've been to South Korea, I've been to Iraq, and I've also been assigned to the embassy in Bangkok, Thailand twice, and Vientiane, Laos once, and then in Phnom Penh, Cambodia twice. I've had a tremendous opportunity to get training and education that wouldn't, it's just generally not available to the public, a civilian, for instance. So it's provided me with fantastic training and education. The brotherhood and camaraderie of the military is fantastic. So I routinely have people coming through my house who as recently as 2 days ago, I haven't seen somebody who came over for dinner for 16 years, and we picked up where we left off very smoothly. Last time I saw him was in Iraq. So it's that community that never goes away, and that's the bond of being a veteran. So it's affected me in that way. And then there is an element of sacrifice, of course, right? So and really ultimately the people who are arguably sacrificing more than the service members are the service members' families. So my parents, they're still in Torrance. They had 3 sons really 4 sons actually, who joined the Army. And there's a period of probably 7 years where my parents didn't have one boy at home for Christmas. And so I think that inevitably will affect the families, right? As just the requirements of being away from home. It's not all about guns and tanks and bombs and stuff. There's plenty of people doing a wide variety of other jobs And at risk of sounding like a recruitment commercial, if you want to do something in life, the military does that for the most part. And so they'll take you and train you up on that. And whether it's public affairs or even being a mechanic, the military does that. And I don't think that a lot of people, I think that when people think about the military, they think about the guns aspect of it and less more the other broader categories of being in the military. The other thing I'd highlight is the diversity. So you're talking about a group of people who comes from all walks of life, all backgrounds from across the entire country, all come together to form a team and become a group of competent professionals who will go and accomplish a mission. And that's generally why people look to the military. And if you take a look at our foreign policy, the military is often the first tool of choice because of the way that the military takes those citizens, brings them all together and focuses them and trains them so that they can accomplish what they need to accomplish. I would like to close by saying thank you. And I say that because each time I come back to the United States, I am routinely impressed by the American people. I am grateful for the support that is given to me and my fellow veteran community. It's been tremendous. I think back in years past, in the interim between the World War II and probably the war on terrorism eras, where veterans kind of got a bum rap, and that's unfortunate. But the one of the main motivators for us being able to keep doing what we do is because of the support of the American people. So I think that that's critically important. And I from just my own personal sentiment, want to say thank you to anyone who's watching this for supporting us. It's incredibly supportive, incredibly motivating, and I have a great sense of gratitude.
As we conclude the program, I want to thank Candace Ford for her beautiful rendition of the national anthem. And thank you to everyone who shared their stories. Debbie Bickford, Bob Kyota, Leon Silverman, and Colonel Marcus Ferreira. Now I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the sacrifices made by our service members around the world and across the decades. As we go about our days, let us all remember those quiet heroes. You may not know them by name, but they lead lives of great consequence. May God bless them, and may God bless America.